baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today we have a crazy freaking story right here about the Tampa Bay Rays actually wanting to play half of their season in Montreal. Yes, half of their season, half of their home games in Montreal. And not only that, if that sounds like a middle finger to the fans, you haven't heard nothing yet. They actually want to advertise this plan during home games in St. Petersburg at Tropicana Field during the playoffs this year. Absolutely bizarre. The Rays will tout Montreal plan during postseason. Now, this is not the very first time we've heard of this plan. A couple years ago, we heard some talk about this plan, but you know, nothing really came of it. I thought it was just insane and it wasn't realistic. I still kind of feel that way, but they're actually serious. They're putting up a sign out there to advertise it. This is the reigning American League champions, one of the best teams in baseball, a team sitting in first place in the AL East ahead of the Yankees and Red Sox. But they're making headlines not because of their amazing season, not because they could win a World Series this year, but because they want to split time in another city and are advertising it on the wall during playoffs. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, I mean, they threw this idea out a couple of years ago. Nothing came of it. It sounded crazy then. It sounds crazy now. And what I really think about is the players, because not only are you making them play half of their home games in another stadium, it's not another city like Tampa, Orlando. It's not another state like Georgia. It's another country. Rays officials say they want to be very considerate in keeping the focus on what the team is doing on the field. Maybe you shouldn't put up the advertisement then. But they are adding a sign to the back wall at Tropicana Field for the postseason to showcase their somewhat controversial plan to split future seasons between Tampa Bay and Montreal. Just imagine if the San Francisco Giants in the postseason this season had put a sign out in the outfield. We're going there to support our team, the city by the bay, the Giants. Let's bring another championship to San Francisco. But there's a sign out there that says San Francisco/Mexico City Giants starting 2022. And we're supposed to go, yes! Here's the quote from team president Matt Silverman, and he said, "We are going to add a sign in the right field foul territory with a very simple Tampa Bay Montreal graphic. Especially with the eyes of baseball on us this October, we want that visible symbol of our plan and our excitement for it. It will mark the effort subtly and keep the focus on winning." Oh, sure, very subtle, very subtle. Silverman said that the split season plan remains the best and possibly only chance to keep the team in Tampa Bay area long term, and that if talks have been progressing in the back. So the best way to keep the team in Tampa Bay long term are to move to another country for half the games. Okay, hey, if that's your plan, that's your plan. I actually think they probably just want to move to Montreal straight up, but that this might be some kind of a kind of a bluff, kind of just a ploy to get Manfred to allow them to move somewhere else, be it Montreal or somewhere else. Because, honestly speaking, no, they don't get much support. They get less than 10,000 fans per game on average. I mean, a AAA stadium could accommodate the fans that show up at the Tampa Bay Rays games, which is a shame for a team so amazing, a team with the lowest payroll, but one of the best records, in fact, the best record in the American League. And a team that's in first place, a team that's the American League champions. It is a shame that they can't get more support in that ballpark. But they do got to figure something out. I know that the lease is ending with Tropicana Field after 2027, which, sounds like a ways away, but it's actually only 6 years and it takes time to build a stadium. They need to come up with a plan quick, because they certainly don't want to, and I don't think are going to stay in Tropicana beyond that year. Something's going to give and something's got to give. That being said, this plan to put that sign, I find to be nuts. And to actually go through with this, let's go on with the article and see if there's any more information here, and I'll give some more of my thoughts. But he says, "I'm more optimistic today than I've ever been that we're going to make this happen." Make what happen exactly? Stay in Tampa Bay, move to Montreal, do the half and half thing? I mean, what's going on? Citing unnamed sources, Le Journal de Montreal reported Saturday a deal could be announced sometime after the November 7th Montreal city elections, and an important meeting will be held very soon in Florida to finalize the details. Under the plan, which includes new open-air stadiums being built in both markets. Absolutely crazy. You're going to build open-air stadiums in both markets? You're going to build a stadium in Florida, but still split time? The Rays would hold spring training and play roughly into early June in the Bay Area, then shift to Montreal for the rest of the season. Team officials said postseason games would likely be rotated by year. What? This is bizarre. At least it's not. I kind of was under the assumption it would be like you go for a home series in Tampa Bay and then you have a home series in Montreal, and instead it's half of the year in one place, the other half in the other. Horrible. I mean, horrible. We believe in our sister city plan. MLB believes in it fully. Really, it's the best and possibly only chance to be here for generations. What about the players, though? What about the players? And what about the union? Aren't they going into discussions this offseason and they're going to talk about, everything that, wouldn't this be I believe this is going to be a huge talking point here. And the union and the players are going to be like, hell no. Other players, even who are not on the Rays, are going to be like, no, we can't set this precedent. I don't want this to happen to my team, or I don't want to get traded to the Rays at some point and have to do this. You either got to move your family halfway through the year or leave your family in Tampa Bay. And moving your family is easier said than done. We're talking about over the border. You got to move your family to another country halfway through the year. It's just insane. Obviously, you don't have to. You can just keep your family wherever. But some players actually like to be with their families. So, they just move to wherever their hometown is, their home team is. In this case, it would be Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Rays, St. Petersburg or Tampa or whatever, anywhere that area. But now, all of a sudden, halfway through the season, you already know you're going to Montreal. That's just insane. And the fan bases, the Montreal fan base, I guess, would be somewhat happy, but even they would be like, this is just weird. There has been an encouraging shift among our fans and community and a real openness about the plan. I haven't heard any Tampa Bay fans out there really open about this plan. I can tell you right now, if I was a Tampa Bay Rays fan, I'd be like, look, just move or don't move. Move or don't move. I'm not, this is just too weird. We're not going to support a team for half the season and then we can't go to any more games because you're leaving the country and then you're going to come back for the playoffs. Hey, where y'all been? I haven't seen you in 3 months. Welcome back. Or maybe you're going to have your playoff games in Montreal. It's like it's not even close. Like I said, it's one thing if you're going to do half your games in St. Petersburg, you just test the waters in Tampa, or you test the waters, over in Orlando or something, which is still weird because you got to build a stadium. If you're going to go through the process of building a freaking stadium, it's going to cost close to, if not $1 billion to build. Wouldn't you just use it? Wouldn't you just make that your new home team? This is just bizarre. Maybe I'm missing something, but it just sounds absolutely crazy. But it does show that I guess they are dead serious. They want to move. They do have to move, like I said. Tropicana Field I enjoyed it. I've been there. I liked it, but it's kind of tight. It's not a modern stadium. It's so disliked, with the catwalks and and the ground and the field itself. It's so disliked that Major League Baseball will not even give them an all-star game. They've never had and never will have an all-star game, which I think is sad. You should give them an all-star game, but it's not happening. So, it's outdated. They need a new stadium. There's been talk of moving to Tampa, but, apparently they just have to, they got to do their research and make sure wherever they move, if they do move to somewhere else there in the Florida area, that they're going to get some better support. And I don't even know if they will. The Marlins don't seem to get very good support. Maybe Florida is just not a big baseball state. You guys tell me. I don't know. But like I said, they average less than 10,000 a night. AAA numbers. It's really, really bad. But imagine being a player. You only get about 40 home games. 40 home games, maybe 4 or 5 homestands. Just unacceptable. I can't see the union. I can't see the players going for this. I can't see this happening. I think it's a ploy. I think it's a ruse.
Ruse. That's a good word.
Basically a bluff to get what they really want, and they're going to be gone. I feel like if you ask me to predict that they're going to be moving, I don't know if it's to Montreal. Montreal had a team and couldn't stay there. It's just crazy, but there's a lot of cities that would love to have a Major League Baseball team. And to me, the best case scenario was that they're able to get a stadium built in the area so they could stay the Tampa Bay Rays, get a beautiful stadium built. Tampa Bay's, it's a beautiful area. I know there's places there. There's been talk of it. Get a stadium built, but then again, if they're not going to get support, there's no point in building one. So they got to do that research and figure that out. But we'll see what happens, guys. What do you think of the half-half plan? And if you're like, I'm all for it because you're not a Rays fan, imagine that happening to your team. If you're a Giants fan, imagine half in San Francisco, half somewhere else out of the country. Unacceptable, right? Unacceptable. But Giants fans support the Giants in San Francisco, and I can't really say the same for Tampa Bay. I know there are some big Tampa Bay Rays fans who do support them, but you got to have numbers. You got to have big numbers to be a Major League team. So y'all have a fantastic day. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that thumbs up button for more content very soon, and we'll talk to you next time. Let me know your thoughts. See ya.
When the Giants come to town, it's bye bye baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye bye baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.